Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andressa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andressa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where we're all about focused on supporting and empowering and inspiring women to live a financially free and balanced life on their own terms. Right, Andressa?
Yes. And there's so many ways to do the same thing, right? We don't have just one recipe that fits all.
No.
Whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you. And that's why on our minisodes, we're bringing content that focuses on investing. It focuses on maybe business strategies. So we don't run our investing as a hobby. And also self-care, which is the foundation, right? Foundation for all of it. Because if we're not taking care of ourselves, financial freedom doesn't mean anything. So that's what we focus on our minisodes. Andressa's got the stage this week, and then each Friday we release an episode where we interview just badass, amazing women who are focused on one of those three pillars. And we do a lot, obviously, on investing. That's our core. But we also really like to bring women talking about things that are helping you grow your life, your holistic life, not just your investing business. So, right on, Jessica. So you're on for this week. What are we talking about?
I am. So today we're going to be talking about two things that can destroy your team. Number one, being not having specific roles. Number two, having very rigid roles. All right, Liz. So here's the deal. Right?
Here's the deal.
Let's start with not having defined roles. In a nutshell, when everybody is in charge, nobody is in charge. And I think that the pandemic highlighted this because people are working from home. So if there was no structure at the office, quote unquote office, it might be an old place where people went to work.
Or the bathroom. Some people.
Or the bathrooms, right? It really highlighted that even more, because then you really don't know what people are doing, right? So here is the impact when you don't have defined roles inside your business. In terms of the finances, you are, as the owner, paying double, triple. You don't even know, because there's multiple people doing the same job. And they only find out at the end of the day, oh, you did that? I did that too. But they did completely different ways, which means that you pay two people to do the same thing, or talk to a client, or call back somebody, and you assume that the other person did, and nobody did it. So there's a lot of financial impact into not having those specific roles in place. Scalability is another impact. Not having standard operating procedures in place. Imagine somebody coming to a company and say, okay, what are the directions here? Do you do this way or that way? And they say, well, whatever you feel is the right way to do. That can get very, very complicated. And from a team standpoint, you're dealing with other people, right? You're working as a team. And if you think that this is my role, this is my area, this is what I'm responsible for, and somebody else steps on it, or you step in somebody else's area or of expertise, there's a lot of conflict that can happen unnecessarily, because it's overall not a consensus into who is in charge of executing this specific task or leading this specific project. So there's a lot of waste of time there. The third thing that I would say, and keep in mind, all of this I'm thinking about sharing with you as a business owner, right? From that perspective, you are not able to implement KPIs and measure people's progress, people's standard. You just are not even able to do that. So you're literally wasting money. And at the end of the year, you don't know exactly where did it go, or why you didn't achieve your goals, or why are we still stuck on X, Y, and Z issue or problem, or why that project didn't get complete. So not having those roles, you can create, specific measurements for your team to achieve. So that is one of the biggest things that I encourage people to define those, which I will give you specific questions to ask at the end of this. So number one, I said, not having defined roles. The number two list is quite the opposite of that, is having very rigid roles. And I used this analogy another day when I was talking to you, and I say, imagine like a pool where everybody, I am on my lane, you are on your lane, and we are so focused on what we are doing and what we have to accomplish that we might forget that we are on the same pool. We are on the same team over here.
Yeah.
And that comes down to culture, right? What is the culture of my company? How there is this disconnection between teams. And guess what, people? When do you think that we'll find that out? When there is a disconnection and there is then the volcano explodes, and then people are like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Liz and I stand for every single call that we have. Strategic calls are amazing, but one thing that we implemented throughout the years that I would like to share with all of you is really like check in with each other, right? If it is a team member or an employee of yours, which we also consider a team member, what is working, what is not working? Those are very, very simple questions to ask, but sometimes has nothing to do with the overall project. It might be a specific task that the person, you sound frustrated today. What is working? What is not working? Then you can go in different directions. What is working this month? What is working within this project? What is not working? And you can find out so many things, right, Liz, just on that conversation there, that it really helps the team grow.
And what's working in your life and not working, so you can just connect personally with each other, right? Because it's not just work. People want to talk about their lives, not for 10 hours, but to connect and say, here's what's coming up for me. Or you seem a little frustrated or rushed, or, didn't your daughter get her ears pierced, or whatever is up for that person. I think it's really helpful to go there, not just in the business.
I agree. And I don't think people are used to it, right? I had a conversation with one of our team members another day. We were talking about sponsorships and different things. And I say, so how are you doing? And she's like, well, we're going to close on this or that. I was like, no. How are you doing? Right? Because it's like, how are you? You as an individual, as a person. What is going on there? How can we really support you achieving your financial freedom goals as part of our team? So going back to what I said about the company's culture, right? If you don't know what's going on, if there is a discrepancy within your team in terms of values, self-care is a big one. I am accountable to Liz, and Liz is accountable to me on that area, big time. Liz always says, like, did you go for your walk today? And basically she's saying, you sound very irritated or frustrated today. It does not seem they meditated or went for your walk. That's what the bottom line is, right? But we have that culture where we trust each other and we know that we're going to stand for each other. And the thing is, every single breakdown that happens, there is a breakthrough. So if something like this happened, let's say, oh, I didn't know you were handling it, or, oh, wait, sorry, I did not call because I thought you were going to. That is a very good opportunity for you to sit down with your team and put things in place. Who is leading it? So here are the stats, right? I'm an integrator. You know that I'm going to give you steps. So who is in charge of that? Who is leading it? How do we know that was done? where is it that you got completed? Do I get an email? Do I get a tag? Do I get a message? Where is it that we know that it got done? And how do you know that it was done as per standard? Right? Because you gotta have one. Because if you don't have one, people will do whatever they feel that is the best, and you gotta accept that. So think about this every time there is a breakdown within your team, and put something in place so you can improve as you move on.
I love that. I want to say really one quick thing, something that Andres is great at saying, especially when we've had breakdowns within the team. What she always asks the question, not verbally, but sometimes through text before we get on the phone call, what possibility can we create? Or I'm really committed to creating a possibility that works. I think when you have that culture, right, that way of being, you're going to have a possibility that works for everyone, and that you grow through, and that you learn and say, okay, what do we need to put in place here? Or let's try this out. I mean, it's a relationships with people in business and a team is just like any relationship. It's like you're trying something, it doesn't work or does work. It's not like end it as long as it's improving and getting better. I don't think people get that as much. So I love that question. I just want to end on was what possibilities can we create as a team, as a partner, as a team, as a, fill in the blank. But people come with ideas versus, how do we solve this? Well, that's not as enrolling.
Not at all. And I think that when you focus on workability, this is not working, right? This is not working is better than you effed up or I effed up, right?
Yeah.
Like this is just not working. What can we create here that works for all of us? So it takes the personal out of the equation and like, okay, let's create something that works for all of us, what that looks like. And then you brainstorm. And Liz and I have done this countless times in order for us to build our team, build our company the way that we have been. And I am saying this to you because it's a muscle that we developed throughout the years as partners. So I hope it helps. Enjoy this episode as much, as I did. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know, what do you think? If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.